Alright, number 18 is talking about a firework being shot off a building. By the way, I was super scared of fireworks when I was young. I thought like the embers were gonna like get in my eyes and burn them. Anyway, so they give us the equation that represents the height of the firework in a certain amount of time, t is seconds. So they want to know when it will reach its maximum height, what time and what height that would be. So here's my picture in the left-hand corner here of my 20-foot building. So the fireworks shot in the air and then eventually it drops back down. So we need to find the maximum right here. So which coordinate of the vertex is the maximum? Hopefully remember it's the y-coordinate because you're measuring up and down, right? So you're on the y-axis. So how do I find the y-coordinate of the vertex? Looking at my quadratic, it's in standard form, so I'm going to be using the formula. To get the x-coordinates, opposite of b over 2a. And to get the y-coordinate, you plug that number in for t, in this case, instead of x. It's really t. So I need to identify a and b. A is the number in front of the x squared, in this case t squared, so that's negative 16. And b is the number in front of the x, but in this case it's t, so 64. So if b is 64, the opposite is negative 64 all over twice a, and in this case a is negative 16. So if I simplify this, this would be negative 64 over, well, 2 times negative 16 is negative 32. Two negatives, if I divide, make a positive. 64 over 32, and 64 divided by 32 is 2. So my x-coordinate of my vertex is 2, which represents t, the time. So in 2 seconds, that firework hit its maximum point. How do I find that? Well, I plug in 2 for t. So h of 2 means I'm plugging in 2 for t. At 2 seconds, how high did it go? So negative 16 times plugging in 2 for t. So 2 squared. And then I have plus 64 times plugging in 2 for t again. And then plus 20. Alright, looking at my first term, order of operations. Do we multiply first or do we square it? Exponents come first, so you're squaring 2, which is 4, and then 4 times negative 16 is negative 64. The next number should always be twice as big in the opposite sign, and it is, because 64 times 2 is 128, and then plus 20. Now combining negative 64 and 128, I get back to 64 plus 20. So how high did that firework go? It went 84, in this case, looking at the units, feet. So the final question is, what's the time and height when it explodes? At the very top. So in 2 seconds, it reaches 84 feet where it explodes. And hopefully doesn't come down and burn my eyeballs out.